Hello everybody, this is Coach Tara Woodruff coming to you out of Holiday, Florida, and I wanted to discuss something that's, on a lot of people's minds today. Government shutdown? Government shutdown? What does this mean to the people, the thousands and thousands of people that work in government positions? Growing up, I was always told that, bureaucratic jobs and government jobs were always, the thing to do, Oh my gosh. A few years ago, I used to have a friend that she actually, I think she worked for the state government in her state, and she was on furlough for almost a year. But I was under the impression that she worked, and that she worked either for no money or severely reduced money. And basically, that's the facts of it. A furlough either could be a mandatory unpaid leave, or it could be severe budget cutting, pay cut, or work time cut. And it's mandatory. It's like, what do you mean mandatory? I don't know about you guys, but when are people going to get sick and tired of hearing this mandatory thing when it's not mandatory? If your job puts you on furlough, and you can't pay your bills, and you have to pay your mortgage, and you have to pay for your car payment or your car note, you got to buy groceries, you got to pay for your utility bills, what's mandatory? You mandatorily aren't going to pay me, or you're mandatorily going to pay me less, or you're mandatorily... What if I don't want to do that? What is that? I don't understand. Why are people so wrapped up in this mandatory thing that this has to be this way? If your job wants to put you on a furlough, I don't care if it's working for Uncle Sam or not. They're breaking the contract with you. If they don't want to pay you should be able to move on. What happens if you don't? Well, what happens if you say, well, I'm not going to do that. I quit. I'm going to go get another job and see you guys later. Have fun. What happened? Did they come arrest you? Because you had a mandatory thing that you had to be on furlough, that you either had to have reduced pay or reduced hours, or no pay or hours at all? What does mandatory really mean, And when are people going to stop fucking falling for that stuff? I don't understand. I mean, I hear all day, well, I'm just not an entrepreneur, I just couldn't do it myself, and I really need direction, and not everybody's an entrepreneur. That's bullcrap. All of us are. All of us are. All of us have the capability of making a living right from the comfort of your home. You do. There's something inside of you that you have to share with the world. Whether you do a network marketing company or whether you do a small startup right out of your house. I mean, let's look at, who's that lady? J.K. Rowling. She wrote the book about the Harry Potter guy and everything. She was like homeless and destitute, completely on the rocks. And she knew she knew a job wasn't going to do it for her. And she went out there and did what she had to do. And she's so rich that it's unbelievable. I think she just gave all her money away too, and she's like writing new books now. Like, what? You remember the little character Barney? I don't know if you guys remember the purple dinosaur Barney. Do you know where that idea came from? A housewife. She didn't want to, she didn't like the idea, or she didn't have the money to, I'm not sure which it was, to make to buy fancy lunchboxes for her child. So what she did is she used to draw stories on the paper bags featuring this awesome little Barney character, a purple dinosaur. That idea turned her into a millionaire. I'm pretty sure she probably didn't think that she could be an entrepreneur. I'm pretty sure she probably didn't have that in her head, that one day she was going to start an amazing company and make a bunch of money. Some entrepreneurs out there, the innovators, they knew, and they busted their butt, and they got there. Some people come into their own business in ways that nobody really could ever figure out, or maybe they didn't even intend or see coming. The thing is usually it has something to do with they were tired of something. They decided that enough was enough, that they were disgusted with their situation, and they made some sort of action. And it turned out for them that way. It took hard work. But I'm really tired of hearing people saying, oh, and then I don't want to hear that you're crying about it. Because every single person that does have a job should be running some sort of side business to cover their asses when times like this happen. So say if you were an Avon lady and you worked for the Parks Department, the federal Parks Department, and you got furloughed and you didn't know how long that furlough was going to go, and you knew it was mandatory, and you really wanted to keep that job. You didn't want to just leave that job. Well, what that would mean for that particular government worker would be that they would just hustle their Avon a little harder. Maybe they would throw a party and show people the Avon. I mean, you know what I'm saying? And in the meantime, they already have that, so they already have a different kind of way to pay taxes, and they already have a break with that, and they don't have to rely on. I mean, if you bust your butt with Avon, you can make $3,500, $5,000 a month. For real. Avon calling. So, what I'm trying to impress upon you all is that if you are multiple streams of income, if you are literally dependent upon that job for your money, I'm not talking about having 2 or 3 other jobs, because that's just plain ridiculous. That's ridiculous. But if you have a job, and that's the only source of income you have, you've got to diversify. It's a must. I'm not talking about getting another 401k plan. I'm not talking about some mutual funds. I'm talking about you've got to find a way to diversify. You have to create additional streams of income. You know, network marketing is really affordable. So you can get involved in a network marketing company and work it, an hour, 2 hours a day, or 4 hours a week, however you can manage. What it is you decide how much time you're going to work it, and you work it 110% during that time. Okay? And you have all these benefits. Even if you're not making tons of money with it, you have all these benefits that come with it. For instance, when the job furloughs you, or when you get laid off because of budget cuts, you've got something to turn to and work on. You understand? If you have a hobby, and say you have a full-time job, but you have a hobby that's desirable, people want to have more of that. If you build custom furniture, you restore furniture. I know a couple of people that actually make money in like the green world, where they help people learn how to use permaculture to take care of their yard and create an edible yard. There's money everywhere. There's a way to protect yourself from being financially destitute. Do not rely certainly don't rely on a government job. There are no such thing as that's a really good job. You'd be set for life anymore, guys. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. It's time for you to get some skills, to get outside your box, and protect yourself from this kind of thing. This doesn't have to be you. No one can mandatorily tell you that you mandatorily have to accept nothing. That's not... No. So that's my little rant for the day. If you keep telling yourself that you don't have entrepreneur in you, well then, I don't want to hear you complaining that you got put on furlough. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear that you lost your job and now you have to work 3 part-time jobs. I don't want to hear it. You continue to say, I'm not an entrepreneur, until you're tired of living like a worker. Just go back in history and look at things. I mean, people come up out of the dust, man, and they make something for themselves. And those people have the same amount of hours in the day that you do. Those people have the same amount of days in a year. There's one difference. They stop telling themselves what they can't do, and they start believing in what they can. This is Coach Tara Woodruff, the Helpful Entrepreneur, coming to you out of Holiday, Florida. And if you found this valuable, share it, tweet it, love it, dove it. Tag Gary Vaynerchuk in it. Bye. Love y'all.